Sergeant Major Howell of the King's Royal Regiment of the Province of New York, and welcome to United Empire Loyalist Heritage Center and Park. This is one of the original Loyalist landing sites here in Adolphustown, and on June 16, 1784, under the command of Peter Van Alstyne, 250 associated Loyalists made their way to the shore here and would make a new life after surviving the Revolutionary War. Over here to my right is the original landing spot, and just to my left here, which we'll show you in a few minutes, is the cemetery. The cemetery has very early roots here as well, because on June 17th, the very next day after landing, the first child died, unfortunately, and was buried in the Loyalist cemetery that now stands here as a monument to our ancestors that sacrificed so much. We mentioned the cemetery has very early roots going back to June 17th of 1784, but in 1956 the Ontario government dedicated this spot as a resting place of Loyalists, and the monument was erected on the centenary of the Loyalist landing in 1884, and I'm happy to show it to you. Every June, members of the Bay of Quinte branch of United Empire Loyalists of Canada gather here to honor our ancestors and all the sacrifices that they made in making our new home. And as I say, closest to the 16th of June, we try to gather here to remember them. Loyalists arrived here in the Cataraqui townships and as well Prince Edward County in bateaux, all very similar to the one that you see here. In fact, we helped build this very boat and maintain several of these boats and use them in living history events. And as I say, hard to believe that one of these vessels might carry as many as 10 families, 30 or 40 people, and all their personal effects as they made their way from Sorel to Kingston and on to Adolphustown. Welcome to Allison House, which houses the UEL Research Center here at the park. This house was originally designed in 1875 and built in 1878 for David Allison and his family. Allison was a rather prominent family in the region, and he also served as NP and was Sir John A. Macdonald's prime rival in politics in this area. Interesting enough, they also shared a very close friendship, as Macdonald was raised not too far from here. Welcome to the Loyalist Room at Allison House. This was originally the parlor for Mrs. Allison and holds 2 of 3 of the original marble fireplaces that are in the home. And a number of the artifacts in here are all tied to the Revolutionary War period and the Loyalists as they settled here. This is the gentleman's parlor in the Allison House, and Mr. Allison and his colleagues would have adjourned here post-dinner to play cards and have a few drinks and possibly smoke. This is one of our second floor galleries and houses some very special artifacts that we have. Many people don't know, but the area had a strong tie to the War of 1812. Largely the Glengarrys were stationed here on through to the end of the war, and there was actually over 400 men that were stationed here in 1815 and were marched on into Kingston, where they would ultimately be dismissed as a unit. As well, we have a number of Loyalist artifacts that include a number of original land grants and services to the King, as well as Masonic apron from the time. Welcome to the Research Library at the UEL Heritage Center and Park. This is really the heart of what we stand for here. It contains many historical records, books, and an original copy of the Burleigh Papers that ultimately detail and chronicle all the Loyalist history that we can gather for our country. You're welcome to come here and research your family during the season when we're open, or in off season by making an appointment. I feel very fortunate to be the stewards of this property. It's one of the few original landing sites of the Loyalists that still exists and is preserved for the public to come and visit. 230 years ago is a long time, and people have a tendency to forget where they come from. So it's important to know that if you know where you're going to go. The UEL Heritage Center and Park, we run a full-service campground where we have a lovely beach, as you see behind you, and all kinds of amenities for young people and families. So we certainly welcome the transient campers and as well seasonal campers to the site.